He pressed the shoe firmly into the mud, leaving a clear footprint. Then he quickly raised his camera and pressed the shutter. With the forged evidence, Detective Park soon identified the man. But in fact, he was born mentally challenged, only accidentally able to state the details of the crime. The two female murder cases would soon be closed. Just as the police station was about to issue a notice, Detective Su discovered that the killer's knot-tying technique was professional, something the disabled Kwang Ho could never accomplish. The absurd notice finally ended in a farce. In an era without DNA identification technology, everyone at the scene was trapped in a dilemma. At this moment, Detective Su found a clue.
사건 날 전부 비가 왔어요. 다들 비 오는 밤에 살해됐다고요.
Soon another female body was found in the reed marsh, and the scene matched their speculation. To lure out the killer, a female police officer put on red clothes on a rainy night and set a trap. Under the police's tight surveillance, the killer instead targeted another woman. The killer carelessly left footprints, but the heavy rain washed away all traces. The investigation hit a dead end again. But soon the female police officer made a new discovery. Every time the killer committed a crime, the radio would play the same song. The two detectives returned to the crime scene to stake out. A strange man appeared, who was obsessed with women's underwear. They joined forces to arrest him. Just as the pervert was about to be forced to admit he was the killer, Detective Su obtained the most crucial information from a survivor. The killer's hands were as soft as a woman's. Obviously, the man did not meet the standard. Detective Park refused to accept it, and the two fought fiercely at the police station. At that moment, the familiar song played on the radio, and light rain began to fall outside the window again. Soon a female body was found, and everyone fell into complete despair. Fortunately, the female police officer found the postcard used to request the song that night. The suspect Park Shin-gyu emerged. After touching his hands, Detective Su's intuition told him this man was the killer, but they had no evidence to convict him. Detective Park remembered Kwang Ho's testimony, and the two realized Kwang Ho might have witnessed the killer committing the crime. However, when Kwang Ho saw the suspect's photo, he said some inexplicable words. They forced him to speak.
사진을 보라니까!
Amidst the chaos and scuffle, Kwang Ho disappeared. Later, he appeared on the railway track. The truth was buried again. Fortunately, the investigation team found semen left by the killer on the last victim. Detective Su's task became to monitor Park Shin-gyu, waiting for the DNA identification result sent to the United States. That night, Detective Su nodded off for a moment, and Park Shin-gyu disappeared. In the woods, the killer struck again. Detective Su completely lost control. He pulled out his gun, questioned Park Shin-gyu, and prepared to execute him. At this time, Detective Park arrived with the DNA report. The result was, the semen did not match Park Shin-gyu's DNA. Detective Su was stunned instantly, overwhelmed by unwillingness and powerlessness. He was about to pull the trigger again, but this time, Detective Park stopped him. Without evidence, no one could convict the killer. Park Shin-gyu walked slowly away in front of them. Everyone's regret lasted for 30 years, until September 2019. This biggest unsolved case in South Korea was finally solved. South Korean police used DNA comparison technology to identify the 56-year-old suspect Lee Chun-jae. He was an inmate in prison at that time, sentenced to life imprisonment for killing his wife in 1994. Regrettably, since the case had passed the 15-year statute of limitations, Lee Chun-jae was not prosecuted for this case.